I love rocks, and I have this hobby of tumbling rocks, and I thought, hey, why not go through the whole process with you guys, and we can see the whole transformation together. I'm pretty new to this hobby, so I am definitely not an expert. There's probably going to be some fudging mistakes, but we could learn together. I've been in some rock groups, not the bands, but the rocks, and learning about the whole process. So I'm sharing what I've learned so far and trying it out and seeing what happens, as well as sharing all my cool rocks with you guys, and we can look at them raw, polished, and see the transformation unfold. So if you're into this journey, it's going to be a few parts. I'd say maybe up to 5, but maybe I'll cut it down to 3. The first one is this one that we're doing stage 1. There's 5 stages that I do for my rocks to get them polished, and that whole process in the past has taken me close to up to 3 months. So it's going to be a little bit of a journey together. So if you like and subscribe, you'll get a little update, and maybe it'll be the next journey of this whole process. But for now, I hope you I hope you enjoy stage 1. And thanks for being here. I'll talk to you guys soon. Enjoy the show. So, I'm going to be doing a batch of rocks. I'm going to tumble them. It's going to be a long process, but I wanted to look at the rocks before we even start so you can see them in their raw states. This is the selection I chose, the batch of rocks that will be tumbling. Let's take a closer look. So I'll pick them up and I'll show you. This one's a little smooth, but I wanted to see what happened if I polished it. I've had this one for years. I found it on a hike. I liked it because it looks like an eyeball. You can see that. See if it focuses. There it goes. So there's that one. A lot of these are agates and labradorite and I guess jasper or story stones. The ones that look like they have handwriting on them. This is labradorite raw. At least that's what I was told. We'll see. It has a little bit of the shimmer I could see in it, so we'll see how much flash they have. This is the one that looks like it has handwriting on it. Once it's polished, it'll come through more. I just love the texture. Calligraphy stone is what they're called. Here's another one that looks like an eye. Another agate. Whoa, we dropped it. It's totally fine. Dropped it. I dropped it again. I think I'll keep these bloopers in the video. I have slippery fingers, what can I say? These are butter rocks because they just fall out of your hands. Now this is an agate. It has really cool textures going on. Let's take a closer look. Oh, look at that. Almost looks like quartz, right? Maybe there's some quartz growing on it. I'm not an expert at this. I just know what I like. And I like this one because it had like the circular patterns that make me think of an eye. So here's that one. So let's see. It's another one we're going to be polishing. Here's another one. This one's really cool. A lot of these in their raw state have so much interesting texture, and they're really beautiful as is, but I really love to see the transformation that happens when you tumble rocks. And if you're able to get them to this state of like a high polish, it's very satisfying. And it's also a lesson in patience, because anyone who's done this knows how long a process it is. It could be months, maybe even half a year. I love this one. Has really, I mean, This one has such beautiful textures that I was almost considering not polishing it, but in the end I'm going to polish it. But I'm documenting. Almost looks like a face right there. Hey guys, will you see me shine? Okay, we have another, oh, you can see a flash on this one. This is another raw Labradorite. We're going to polish it and see how it transforms. If you're familiar with Labradorite, you know the rich depth and flash that it's possible with these beautiful, beautiful rocks. And another one that we're going to be polishing and seeing how it goes. Now when I got this one, we'll see if it's truly it. I had ordered it because it said they were fire agate specimens. I'm not 100% sure yet. I have fire agate like polished on one of my necklaces, and I'm not sure. Let's see. This may be it, but I'm not sure. We'll see. The one I have that's polished looks like really beautiful lava and the way that it bubbles up. So I'm not seeing the bubble formations yet. So I'm not sure if this is just a different type of agate that I was sold. You know Etsy, with the dealers on there. We'll see. It's still beautiful. So we're going to see what happens to this transformation. Right now, it kind of looks like a story stone. I'm going to tell you a story. This is my profile, and I have a long face. Oh, look at that. And I kind of look like a bird. Okay, this one is another eyeball agate that is just so cool. There's so much going on this stone. It has so many different textures all around. Another one that I had held on to for a while and just admired the beauty of it in its raw state. But I'm at the point where I really want to see what happens when I transform it and polish it up. And who knows, maybe turn it into a necklace centerpiece, depending on these change shape greatly when they get tumbled. So we'll see what happens. Sometimes they could even just, you know, change so much that they tumble away into tiny little bits. Hopefully not, but we'll see what happens with these. Agates are supposed to perform better than other rocks because they're kind of on the hard side. But sometimes you could put a rock in a tumbler and they'll completely turn to that slurry, that mud. If you're familiar with tumbling, when you open the canister, you get this sort of gray slop, like a thick gray slime mud from all the rocks being worn down. This is lovely, look at that. Continuing the closer look, we have this one that I'm going to be doing. Look at the way this one shimmers, even in its raw state. It's just so beautiful, right? I can't handle how much beauty and variations in all these different specimens. They're so cool. Look at that. I mean, if you really look at it, it just looks like a whole world you can get lost in. I have a collection of stones, and oh, look at, there's a face. I have a whole collection of stones, and I have the Lodolite garden quartz, and they look like they have, you know, they have the inclusions in the quartz, and some recent ones I have chlorite included inside, like embedded inside the quartz, and the way that they're layered, they look like worlds, and you could just get lost in them, and they're really beautiful. Great little meditation tools. So this one's gonna get polished. Right now it's kind of like an A. Do you see that? Or maybe it's a wishbone. I wish that it comes out beautiful. So let's look at the rest. What else do we have? Well, I think, did we look at this one? We might have. Okay, so let's finish looking at a couple of these. This one, got focused. There it is. I'm gonna see what happens when we do this one. It's got some interesting colors going on, reds and yellows and browns. And then this layering, it's just really neat, so I'm curious to see what happens once it gets polished up, what emerges, even just patterns that I can see in there. It's going to be cool to watch the transformation on this one, on all of them, but okay. So then, I think we looked, well, this is a different specimen of the one I showed you. It's supposed to be fire agate, but I'm not 100% sure if it's just a type of agate or we'll see. It's still beautiful in orange colors, so right there it's getting a nice flash. That right there looks really pretty. We'll see. Look at that. Maybe it is. See what happens when it gets polished up. Get lost in the textures and the variations of colors, just so beautiful. And then the last one we have is another calligraphy stone. It's a type of jasper calligraphy stone. I don't know if they're called story stones. Story stones I thought were the ones that look like faces. I could show you a story stone that I have, but anyway, this one is a type of jasper called calligraphy stone, nicknamed that because of the fact that it has a texture that almost appears like writing on it. So we're going to see what happens when we polish this one up. So that's my batch, and we're going to put this in the barrel, and I'm going to go through the whole process with you guys. I hope you join me and come along on this transformation journey. Going to start putting all my rocks, just for now, into my barrel. This is like a little 3-pound barrel. And then the last of it, they're all tumbling around. Now, I know this one's a little bit full, but I'm going to test it out. It's not, there's still room for it, but basically they're going to rotate around in some water and grit for about 10 days for the first batch and for the first round, and they get worn away. Crashing into each other just wears them away. Water helps keep the dust down, and it creates that thick gray sludge, which you're going to see. But for now, I'm going to put some water in this. I'm going to put the grit in it, which is about, I usually do about 3 tablespoons of the stage 1 grit, which I'll show you all of my process, and then putting the lid on and getting it on the tumbler, on the tumbler for 10 days, setting the time. I have a National Geographic tumbler. I don't know if it's called Platinum or not. I can't remember the exact name. We'll find out. But here we go. This is actually, before we get into it, a look at some of my back inventory of where I store my stones. Not all of these are going to get tumbled, because some of them are just super cool fossils from like the Great Lakes and just different hikes in different places around the world. So I thought I'd show you my little wood display case, because I think they look really pretty in this glass case. You can lift the lid so you can get a closer look. ones in the plastic are more calligraphy stones that are raw. Here's a really cool raw piece of amethyst. Look at that. I don't want to polish this one because I really like seeing all of the rough layers and textures on this one. It's very cool. This one's neat too. It almost looks like dessert. Making me hungry. Speaking of that, actually, when I was hiking around on a tulip farm, we were picking flowers, but then I noticed something in the dirt that I started digging in the dirt, and I got this nice chunk of quartz that looks like a piece of bread. So I keep it rough, and I keep it just sort of on display in my dining room because it looks like a little, like I broke off a piece of bread. And it just really, I just love it. It's really heavy too. And so delicious. It's got that nice sort of, what is that, golden healer. Is it iron that's staining it? I'm not sure. It might be iron. But it looks like a piece of bread. Now I want some soup. So there goes the cat. Knock the dirt out of my plant that's here. There. We have all the rocks. Give you a closer look. These are so cool. Look at them. Those are going to be a future batch that I do. We'll go through them another time. Look at all these lovely specimens. So cool. I found this guy on a hike. He's neat. So, that's some of my raw specimen collection. Now let's get back to it. Okay, before we get back to it, I do want to show you my story stone and my bunny cactus. Look at this guy. But this little guy I found when I was digging a hole, and it was staring back at me, and I said it was like looking in a mirror. I call this the Angie stone. He's got a big goofy smile. So I've polished rocks before, and I thought I'd show you a couple of my favorites that I have out that I just love. They have such a beautiful high shine polish. This one is so cool. It's a dendritic agate. See if I can just get the light to come through it so you can see how beautiful the coloring is on this. It's really neat. Oops. So, on all sides, it's like super shiny, and it was just so cool because it was this rough rock that I didn't even realize that it was somewhat translucent until after I took it out of the first stage. And it got worn down, and I saw, oh my gosh, look, I can see through it. And as it went on, I got to see more and drop crystals everywhere. And rocks, rather. But yeah, so there's my dendritic agate that I polished in one of my previous tumbles. This one took me about, I'd say, the whole process. Close to 3 months, if you could believe it. Worth it, though. Here's another one. Just, at this point, it's getting comical. It's just embarrassing, actually. No, it's hard to film and hold rocks and move them around. It's a little discombobulating, but I'm trying my best here. This one is another high polish one that I just love the fact that it it's not fully shaped or fully polished and perfect. The backside is still a little bit raw, and I love that. I love seeing the transformation and transition into this high polish, yummy looking piece of candy, but it's actually an agate, and it reminds me of a dessert. But I really, really, really love the outcome on this one. So I kept it. I'm not going to polish it anymore. I know that I could probably keep putting it through some tumbles, different grits to, clean it up, but I actually like the transitions from sort of almost raw to this midpoint to a high shine. It's really cool, all in one piece. So that's just a little bit of the pieces that I made in the past. But let's get back to the fresh new batch that we're gonna make together. Okay? Start doing this batch, and I'm gonna go through it with you guys. I keep all my rock tumbling supplies, which as we go through the different stages, I'll show you what you need. But I keep them all in a bin to make it nice and organized and accessible. Some of the things that I'm going to be using today, well, we have our barrel, and I do have the National Geographic Platinum Series rock tumbler. Let me just make sure that's what I have. I have it right here. It's just so that, yeah, it's the Platinum Series rock tumbler that I have. It runs quiet. I do have mine set up in the basement, which you'll see, but I don't even hear it when it's running. So we're going to be using this stage 1 grit. I'm going to use about 3 tablespoons that I've done in my batches. So we'll see how it goes. And I know that when you get the National Geographic kit, it comes with its own little pouches to sort of get you started, but I went online and bought these Polyplastics brand, and this is the Premium Rock Grit, and it comes in different stages. I actually have up to 5 stages. Generally, National Geographic kind of directs you to do 4 stages, but I'll go through them and show you what I'm doing, and we can kind of experience it together because I've only done a couple tumbles. So I guess, you could join so many different rock groups online, and not the kind that make music, but the kind that make sweet, sweet polished stones. And you could get so many different recommendations. Someone in the group that I was in had suggested this, and they had some nice rocks that they made, so I went for it, and I was able to shine those shiny ones that you just saw earlier with 5 stages of grit and a little bit of borax, which we'll get to that later. So right now we're just going to go with 3 tablespoons of this grit, which is sort of a silver graphite gray color. I'm going to put some water in here. I'm going to fill it up so the stones will sort of be popping out a little bit, but most of them will be covered. So let's get the water in here, and then we're going to get everything together, close it up, and start tumbling the first stage. Okay, I'm putting some water in. They look so nice when they get wet, don't they? But anyway, I'm a beginner tumbling kind of hobbyist, so if you really want like professional, true, brilliant advice, there is an account. I believe it is the Michigan Rock Guy. I'll get the name clear and say it in the video to clarify it, but he's really good, and I recommend his videos because you'll learn a lot. Okay, I'm gonna get some more water for this. Okay, so my rocks are watered down, but the little tops are sort of poking out. And now we're gonna put the grit in. And this is a little bit of an experiment because I know that I have some big rocks in here. I don't know how that's gonna go, but I like to try things, and we'll go on this journey together. so it may or may not be a good idea, but this is all about trial and error for me. It's just experiencing this and seeing what I get. So we're gonna try it out. It's not like super jam-packed, there's still a lot of room, so I thought I'd just try and we'll see what comes out. And you're gonna be pretty amazed, I think, when you see the first batch, because it's always the most, like, there's a big transformation that happens. So let's get that grit in and get these going. So I'm gonna take about 3 tablespoons of my grit. One more. All right, so now let's close it up. That's a whole nother story. Hold on, I'll be right back. This one's kind of tricky because it needs to go under, needs to fit in here. And to help with that, I use this knife to push it back. I'm gonna have to do this because I have to get my tripod to do this freehand. Let me see what I can do here, hold on. Try and do it holding it with my chin. Which wasn't a good idea. You know, I try things. Maybe we'll just put it in and then I'll show you. I think you can figure out you're going to basically need to push this lip back and just kind of beat it into it so it fits snugly into this little lip. And it will. You just need to use both hands. I'll be right back. So I did it. You'll hear kind of like a popping noise that it gets set in there, and it's really in, you'll see. So that's in there, and then you're gonna take this metal lid and you're gonna put it on top. That. Press down, top it off with this. You're gonna screw in place. It as tight as I am able to. These little butter knives are really helpful, by the way, with both inserting the piece into the lip as well as removing it, which we'll go through next time. And I'll be sure to have my tripod next time set up, so it's a nice, clean kind of tutorial in a way. We're kind of like learning together, right? Like I said, I'm new to this and always learning, but I thought I'd just go through this and show you what I've done so far, since I was able to get a nice high polish on some rocks. So I thought I'd share my next journey with you guys and see what happens. It's so exciting to see the transformation. So let's get this tumbling. Let's walk this down into the basement. We're gonna get it on the tumbler and we're gonna see what happens in the next 10 days. And that's when you're gonna see part 2. Going into the basement, it's a little spooky down here, but it's ideal for doing this kind of rock tumbling. And there it is on the floor. I'm gonna grab it. I'm gonna place my rock barrel. Let's grab it. I'm placing it in this tumbler, and then there's like 2 wheels that you place it on. Set up. Now we're going to put it at 10 days. And then my speed, National Geographic says 3. For that sake of following that direction, we'll put it on 3 for the first tumble and see what happens as far as transitioning and transformation of the rocks. They do say that this speed is a little fast, so maybe it might be better at 2, but we'll see what happens. So let's get this on the floor and get it going. We're on the floor, You're gonna come down here, and I'm gonna press play. And there it goes. You can sort of hear the rumble. Sort of sounds like a washing machine or a dishwasher. It's not terrible. And I don't even hear it when I go back upstairs. Till 10 days from now, we're gonna have part 2. I hope you guys come back and see our results. It's gonna get messy, but we try to be as clean as we can. That's a whole nother story. Okay, I'll talk to you guys soon. So thanks for sticking around and watching my rock hobby tumbling experience. And we're gonna do it together and see what happens. So, till 10 days, we're gonna have part 2. I hope you come back and follow along. Fast forward if you want to get to the shiny parts, or watch and just see the whole process unfold, because I think that is what is so cool about tumbling rocks. Yeah, so happy spring, keep the joy in your heart. I'll talk to you soon. Bye. Cat friends and me in my garden saying be sure to like and subscribe if you don't already. Bye guys. Thanks for following along. If you don't already, be sure to like and subscribe to see part 2.